What is going on, wrestling fans? It's IC Fall. Welcome back to 10 Count Media on the New Generation Podcast. It's Ahmed Johnson with me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Please don't yell and scream and then bicycle kick me in the face. I would appreciate that, you know.
Okay, I
But
promise you I won't.
all right. We've established that the safe grounds here. On today's episode, though, we're going to talk about something unfortunate that happened to you. And we really need to break down this into layers because July 22nd, 1996, an episode of Raw on television, you are beaten down by Gladiator himself, Farooq Hassad, in full Gladiator gear, nice blue, nice little skirt. He bought it, some Halloween store, it looked like. And he attacks you. Now, Before we get into that part, heading into this episode of Raw, July 22nd, 1996, are you already injured?
No, I wasn't injured.
Nothing. Nothing wrong with you at all.
Okay. No.
Because then you get...
Before the attack?
Yes, before the attack. Are you having some sort of issues, some kidney issues at all?
No.
Because what happens, though, during the attack, we're trying to establish Ron Simmons Farooq as a tough new heel to fight you, and they're going to be a match at SummerSlam. It's supposed to be booked. But he attacks you, and you get a legit kidney injury, a lacerated kidney. So, to clarify, this is 30 years ago, so whatever feelings you have now are one thing versus when you had then. Your feelings at the time, what were you thinking being kicked that hard and wondering, like, what the hell's happening here? Because there's no, hey, this is wrestling, it's a show. If you even watch the videos, he is kicking you very hard down below.
Well, I thought, Steve, I thought it was an accident at first.
Okay.
I thought he slipped and the kick came in it pretty hard until I watched the tape. And again, I watched the tape. I see he did it. He did it on purpose. I mean, he was really trying to hurt me. And I don't understand that because I'd never met him up until that point. I've never said hi, bye, it. No, he just got there to the company. And he was also another one that he admitted, which I really appreciated, that he admitted that he was jealous when he did that. Because he's been the first black champion in WCW, and he's been in the business almost 16 years, and here I am just getting in business and not even being there a good 2 or 3 months. And, he was jealous of that. He admitted on podcast that he was jealous, which I appreciate. I didn't appreciate the kidney shot, but I appreciate him, telling the truth.
So before he shows up in the WWF, when he signs with the company, you said you haven't talked to him. Have you never, ever spoken to him up until this point where you're out in the ring and he starts kicking you? Like, you don't go over the scenario of, okay, Ahmed, you win the match, and then this guy's going to run down. He's going to attack you. Like, no one tells you someone's going to attack you.
I go on.
You know that's going to happen.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, it's an angle that Vince called.
Yes.
But I didn't, and Vince didn't appreciate either. We didn't think he would go that far with his jealousy. Because what I did was when I would hit the floor, I opened myself up, totally opened myself up. Mm-hmm. I didn't tense up or anything because I was suspected a working kick. Well, more of a punt. And he came through and did what he did, and lacerated my kidney.
Now, the question, I guess, would be for you is, all right, the night you showed up in the WWF, you talked to Yokozuna and you said, hey, I'm going to body slam you tonight. And he's like, well, you can try. And obviously, you lifted him up and you showed him, hey, I'm the new guy here in town. Do you feel like that kick or this attack was really to show the world, the WWF executives, like, hey, I'm Farooq. I'm Ron Simmons, my former WCW champion. I'm a collegiate athlete, and you put me in this friggin' shit gimmick. So I'm going to go out there and show you how badass I am. Do you feel like that's what happened and possibly it just got out of hand?
Well, I never thought about that until you just mentioned it. And I think you're correct. I think he was, upset the fact that I got this big pop and this big push when I slammed Yokozuna. And then, he had come out with that blue Gladiator uniform on. And I don't was very happy with the whole setup.
Right.
But it was the dumbest gimmick I ever seen.
And I can understand, unfortunately, on your half what happened to you, because as other wrestlers, like we said, Yokozuna tried to stunt your growth by saying, you're not going to body slam me. And you did it. You
Right?
could have easily been like, well, he's mad at me, so I'm not going to do it or try.
Yeah.
Then that would
So
have
then,
ruined your career. No momentum, no nothing. Farouk
right.
here, obviously, same thing. What happened kind of here by accident with him is he takes out the guy he's supposed to have a storyline with. Well, without you
Exactly.
around, he has no storyline. And he kind of gets
Exactly.
lost in the shuffle for quite a long time because of your injury. And, you know, so your injury happens, and sometimes you hear stories about wrestlers calling other wrestlers, be like, oh, I'm so sorry, like my bad. Or, you know, hey, it happens, no big deal. Is there a conversation? Not 10 years, 15 years later. Like, is there a conversation the day of, the next day, the week of, anything?
No, there was no conversation, and until 30 years later,
Okay.
we just spoke about it, you know. And no, he did what he did. He did it on purpose, and he owned up to it.
So you think he purposely hurt you personally, or he wanted to make an example out of you because he wanted to be the badass and he had to take out someone and you were just the guy in his lane?
I think you're correct. I think he had to take out, you know, make an example. He had to show that he was still a badass, even in the
Right.
blue uniform. And
Yes.
you know, he did what he did, man.
Right. Because like I wonder, like I think we've talked about it before, but it's like I wonder if it's like he doesn't like you or he doesn't like the situation he's in, and you seem to be the guy that he has to show Vince and Bruce Pritchard and all these people that he's not a gladiator. He is a
True.
badass, and by taking technically by attacking you and hurting you, he's showing them, hey, look how cool I am. Like, I don't know, maybe you personally feel like it was a personal attack on you versus just making an example of you in front of other people.
Right. I think you're correct. I think he was trying to make an example out of me.
Okay.
And show people, you know, that he was still Ron Simmons. This is his first match. You got to remember. I mean, we never seen him until then.
Yeah.
And he had to come out with a big explosion. And who better to do the explosion on than the guy that people think is the meanest guy in the company and toughest guy in the company? You know, if I can take out Ahmed, then that's going to bring me a step higher.
Oh, of course. And were you familiar with Ron Simmons before this, or you just you were blind to other companies?
No, I respected him up until then, man. I mean, and I respect him now too, but I up until that point, he was like, you know, hey, Ron Simmons, you know, for like WCW champion. And I was, you know, proud of him, man, until he came out and pulled that stunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lacerated kidney. And so when you go to get a surgery, when you go to the doctors, it seems like the WWF feels like this is going to be an easy process and they're going to film it all. Like they film pieces of your surgery, they film you at home, they film you doing all types of things. Was the surgery recovery supposed to be quicker, or were there complications?
No, that's supposed to be longer.
Longer?
Yeah, and I thank God that he stepped in and healed me. Because yeah, that surgery was supposed to last longer than what it did, and I came back earlier than I was supposed to.
Wow.
But I was feeling good, so I came back.
Wow.
Plus, I couldn't wait to get my hands back on him again at that time.
Yes, of course. I imagine we need to always clarify at that time,
Yeah.
because I'd feel the same way, 100%. No doubt about that. You know, food off my table. Well, I'll kick you in the face. And so it's crazy because they start really filming. Like they do these segments where you're at home in like a red like robe, silk, it seemed like, and they have you cutting these promos. Like, you're just got out of the hospital, like you're having surgery, and his cameras in his house.
Yeah.
What is that response like when you get a phone call and someone asks, hey, can we come to your house and film you do some vignettes? I know you just got surgery, I know you're groggy and everything, but like what are your thoughts? Are you like, hey man, can you just give me a minute? Can you give me a minute to relax? Or you're like, keep me in the spotlight?
No, I honestly was glad that they came out to the house because I didn't, like you just said, I wanted to stay in the spotlight, and I didn't want the fans to think that, oh, that's the end of Ahmed, and no. So I was glad they came out to the house.
And who picked your wardrobe out that night? Was it you?
Yeah, I was going to go get dressed, but they wanted me to stay in my robe, and I had a home nurse there. I don't know if
Okay.
you remember the girl that was taping me up, but I had a home nurse there, and they wanted me to stay in my robe, so I stayed in my robe.
Oh, okay, okay. I just thought it was like, all right, we got badass Ahmed Johnson. Give him a silky red robe. It's like, all right, hey man, I just got surgery. I'd be as comfortable as I want to be at my house too.
Exactly.
I just remember that being like, wow. I just remember that clear as day. Like, man, what? It's red. That's his color. That's cool. But man, he looks so. He's ready to have a cigarette. He's ready to have a good time or something. I love those little vignettes. But yeah, they were gonna have you fight Farooq at SummerSlam 1996, and now obviously you get hurt. At what point after the initial attack by Farooq are you aware that something's going on? Are you working? Did you go to the hospital immediately? Like where did you finally go to the hospital and go, something's not right?
Well, I when I got home, my nose kept bleeding for some reason. And I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't bleed. And I went and took a piss, man, and there was blood in it. So I knew I was in trouble. So my wife rushed me to the hospital right away, and they told me I had a left kidney and I needed surgery before it got worse. So I went to the hospital and they took care of me, man.
So, okay, on a Monday, you're attacked by Farooq. I know it's a long time ago, but do you remember like how many days it was from
Oh, it was
Monday
just
to
like one day.
Oh, okay. You're already home
Yeah,
like Tuesday or Wednesday.
yeah, it was like one day. And I thought something was funny because, like I said, my nose wouldn't stop bleeding. I don't know what they have to do with your nose, but my nose wouldn't stop bleeding. And then when I went and took a piss, I seen the blood in the urine. And I was like, oh my God, what did he do to me? And it was a little painful, it was little like stabbing pains every now and then.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think seeing blood in your piss is like a sure sign of going to the hospital, no matter what's going on in your body. Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if a gladiator attacked me, but no matter what, if anyone at home is listening to this or watching this, if you have blood in your pee, please go to the doctors. I don't care what has happened.
Yeah. It's either you've got a lacerated kidney or you got a real bad venereal disease.
Which one would you want is the question.
I'll take the kidney.
You'll take the kidney.
I'll take the kidney.
All right. He's already survived it once. He can survive it again, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah. But yeah, it's just interesting that they just decided to be like, yeah, we're gonna put this into a storyline because it didn't make sense, but it took a little while to come back. And I'm imagining how you feel in today's world is still the same way you felt then. Is this really messed up my push? And did you feel like the momentum was lost?
Yes, you're correct. And I still take medicine today for my kidney. I still take kidney medication today for it. But
really?
yeah. So it's not like something I'm going to forget. You're never going to forget it.
Wow.
And it was just, man, it was bad. It's a bad situation. I thought my career was over.
I had no idea you were still suffering from something that happened in 1996. I've never heard that story from you.
Right. No, I've never told anybody. You're the first.
Well, the world will find out that you're still suffering from a blue-ass gladiator attacking your kidney. Hey, man, I know in today's world you guys are cool, but I personally would find it hard, and I know you obviously have. I would find it very hard to forgive someone when I'm still going to the pharmacy to get pills for my kidney because you kicked me so hard in 1996. Like, I would imagine, that's a hard grudge to get over. And for years, at least, you would see stories about you and Farooq still having issues. Well, guess what, people? I can personally understand why you did.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
me. But, forgive and forget, I guess. You're a better man than I am. So congratulations on being better. But yeah, you had to give up the IC championship. And when you're traveling around with that championship, are you traveling around with it? Is the company bringing it from place to place for you, or do you have it in your bag?
No, I have it.
Okay.
I have it in my bag.
So then after this moment, this injury, you go home with the championship in your bag?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to vacate it in
Right.
August of 96. How does that deal? Maybe someone wants to know, but I'm curious. How does that deal go down? It's at your house. Like, do you have it? And they're like, can you mail it to us or we'll come to you? Like, what is the situation?
Right. I mailed it back to him. I mailed it back to him before the tournament.
Okay.
But still, I mean, like you said, it was a tournament for the belt. I never lost the belt.
Nope.
So to me, I'm still Intercontinental Champion. So whoever got that belt now, give me a call. I'll step up to the plate.
As we podcast, it'd be Dominic Mysterio. So we will have Ahmed Johnson versus Dominic Mysterio in the ring in 2025. Book it. They've been having those Saturday night main event episodes, been bringing back, people like Tatanka and Jesse the Body Ventura. Why can't we have Ahmed Johnson come in the ring and squash Dirty Dom, give him a Pearl River plunge, send the people home happy?
Right. Because you have a racist pirate at the helm.
And would you have to elaborate on that, though?
Well, Triple H. I mean, like I said,
okay.
he's a straight up racist. And so, like I said, he was very jealous that I came in and got this big push. And he was Hearst Hemsley, man. He was just a mid-carder. And I don't know where he get off thinking that he was one of the top boys back then, because back then he wasn't. It was me, Shawn, Stone Cold, Undertaker, and Sid. Those were the top guys back then.
Mm-hmm.
And Triple H just wasn't one.
So at the time, you believe Triple H did not like you in 96?
Oh yeah. He didn't like me at all. He didn't like me at all. And he wouldn't be where he is today if he didn't take them steroids. And, then they had to put him with China because he wasn't getting over. So they figured that China would help him get over, which she did. They put him with China, and China helped boost him a little bit. And then he married the boss's daughter, and the rest is history.
Yeah. I have no personal relationships with him, but clearly through stories from you and other wrestlers, everyone has issues with somebody, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a you and Triple H conversation. Maybe someday you get the Pearl River plunge him, spine bust him, kick him in the face, do all that fun stuff. Do a nice little scream again. Right. But yeah, you never lost a championship, and it goes into a tournament, and then you're sidelined. And honestly, you come back later in the year, and people still love you. But like, this was rocket ship on your back, on fire, can't touch me, and then an injury takes it out for a little bit. You come back, you get it back again, but still, like, this was the point where you were even number one contender for the world championship. You won a battle royal. Like,
right.
It was just like everything was going perfect until a kick happened to you in slow motion. And so it was like, it's strange, I would say, for me personally, to be talking to you about this, because it must be one of those things where you're like, well, I'll be fine. And now you're here 30 years later, still taking pills because of your kidney.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I'm still taking kidney pills.
Like, because I imagine you go home and you're like, oh, everything's fine. But here you are, 30 years still suffering from what happened there. Lost the IC, didn't lose the IC title, vacated it, weren't number one contender for the world title anymore. Didn't get that opportunity back yet until like 97 when they offered, gave you a chance a little bit. So in reality, it's like, this is one of those moments where you're like, damn, wrong place, wrong time. It feels like in this moment, but at the same time, we're still talking about a monumental run, the things you've done, the Pearl River Plunge, kicking people in the face. I love it so much. So in reality, like I wouldn't have mailed back the championship, Ahmed. I would have been like, I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
Well, I did keep the belt at the end.
Ah.
Yeah. I saw it in the locker room and then I decided, hey, that's put me on my waist.
I love it so much. Well, Ahmed, thank you so much for sharing that. You did exactly what I hoped you would do and take back the gold that belongs to you in another episode with Ahmed Johnson and me, Steve Fall. But thanks for tuning in, guys. What a wonderful day it is to be a fan of Ahmed Johnson. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.